In this presentation, we'll be creating a knowledge base of remediation best practices. We'll be focusing on the IT Operations Foundation, and this is another way of doing more with less. In this presentation, we'll be focusing on remediation of the IT Foundation, which is typically performed by systems administrators, DBAs, SANS administrators, network administrators, and so on. IT Foundation Management provides some powerful capabilities to perform remediation, including the creation of a knowledge base with best practices. So today, we will be demonstrating the remediation and best practices capabilities that has newly been added to ConsoleWorks in version 4.5. The steps we will be going through today include: an event occurs, remediation is performed, the remediation is captured and set as a best practice. Each time the event reoccurs, the best practice is presented by ConsoleWorks, and the best practice will actually be used to resolve a recurrence of the issue.
All right. Let's go ahead and go into our ConsoleWorks. And we're going to start with an event occurrence that occurred on one of my test servers. And what it's saying is the disk is full. I'm going to right click and choose to remediate. It'll bring us up a window telling it that there is no best practice defined yet. And it will also bring us a connection into the console. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in a command that will allow me to find large files. Alright, it seems we have a few. We have the ConsoleWorks default.config, which I don't think we want to delete. That's your entire ConsoleWorks database. And we have a default.save to, which is a large file that ConsoleWorks doesn't need. We have a core dump that will free up quite a bit of disk space. And some other resources that we probably would be better not to touch. So I'm going to focus on that core dump. You can see it has the complete path to the file. So I'm going to do a remove /opt /ConsoleWorks core.23143. Yes, I'd like to remove it. And now it's gone. We'll run that same command again, and that core file no longer shows up. I think we're pretty much done. We've freed up some of our disk space, so I'm just going to close this connection. I'm going to close our best practice window. And now we can go look at our event. And what we'll see in the remediation history is that this has been remediated a few times, and we can click on them and view, and it will show us what we did. And this is under the remediation accordion, is where our best practice will be defined. We know that this one worked, so we're going to make this our best practice. And it's going to put over here, it's all in HTML code, so we don't have to do a whole lot with it, but we do see the output that we saw before. So some of this stuff is very extraneous to what we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and delete some of this stuff. We don't need our root prompt. And there's all of the files that it brought in. And all of this is just hand editable. You can make it say almost anything you would like to.
So what you're doing right now, Chris, is you're making sure that the pertinent information of solving this problem in the future is left while pulling out the context-specific feedback that the system gave to you that wouldn't be relevant to that problem, to actually doing a best practice.
That's correct. You know, because all of the files will be different, you know, having all of these individual listings in there is not really conducive to what we want to show. I'm going to pull out all of the prompts, and in the place of this core file, since it's no longer going to exist on this system in the future, I'm just going to type in something that will be seen by whoever does this next. If I could type, this would be great. I'll go ahead and take this piece out. I'm just going to put a little note in here. Telling them to verify that the files were removed. I'm going to save these changes. Now when we go back to our event occurrences, if I go to remediate this event again, it's going to bring us our connection, and it's going to give us a page showing what the command was that was used to remove any large files that can be safely removed. And it's going to prompt to remove the regular file, and you're going to say yes to remove the file name. You're going to run the command again and verify the files were removed.
So Chris, what you've really done here is you've remediated this event. And when you looked at it, you realized that you wanted to remove some files that were taking up unnecessary space. So you've actually included that command, so now I don't have to remember that command anymore to find the files of a certain file size. And you've given instructions on what a person should do to actually resolve the issue. So it really would make it very easy in this event occurring again for someone else who may not have as much experience as you or may not have seen this problem before to very quickly solve the problem the way you solved it.
That's correct.
Very good. Well, I think this highlights some of the capabilities of remediation. We can obviously build best practices, and what we've just shown is building one best practice here for dealing with a disk full or a disk space limited event occurrence. This obviously can apply to any number of events, and remediation can include both commands and notes so that the systems administrators and experts who are actually using the system can embed their own domain knowledge into the remediation, really leave behind good guidance on what others may need to do. This is particularly important when people cross a lot of different domains, or we have certain people who are extremely expert in areas where others may not have that degree of expertise. So it's a way of capturing that critical domain knowledge that's in the people's heads who are doing this work on a regular basis and leaving it behind for the next folks.
That's correct.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.